Marques Colston steadily rose the NFL ranks to become one of the game's most respected players. His hard work and drive helping lift the New Orleans Saints to their first ever Super Bowl championship in 2010. As he was setting team records in his day job for nearly a decade, it's his night job that helped transition him into a life as a venture capitalist. He's a co-owner in Arena Football's Philadelphia Soul, an advisor to health and sports startups. And his latest move has teamed him up with Columbia University on a program to help retired sports stars get their money to work as entrepreneurs.
We like to start at the beginning, so can you give us a sense on when you knew you wanted to pursue a career in football?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a football fan since I can remember. I think my mom said it started at age 4. All of my older brothers played. My dad played in the CFL for a time, and I guess I was kind of brainwashed from early on, and really started playing at age 7 and really fell in love. Played a lot of other sports, but football was always it for me.
Now, it's one thing to have success on the field. It's another to win a Super Bowl. How did winning change your thinking?
It was really interesting just because, being a fan for as long as I was, I understood what the Super Bowl meant, but it took on a whole new meaning once I actually got to the league and really started playing and really competing for it. As a rookie, we had a really young team, a young nucleus, and we were able to advance to the NFC Championship. And I don't think any of us really had a real feel for how we got to that point. And we spent the next 2 years, trying to replicate that success, and finally being able to break through in year 4 and realizing what it took to get to that point. It was kind of I don't want to say a weight off your shoulders, but it was kind of this feeling of you've kind of reached the pinnacle, and as an individual on a team that had that much success, obviously the light it was able to shine on individuals a little bit brighter, and it's a blessing to always be known as a Super Bowl champion.
Now, because of your success, you had a lot of opportunities traditionally in football or in broadcasting, but you saw a huge opportunity in Silicon Valley. How come?
Well, it's interesting. I actually got into technology through sports and performance, and for me, it was a function of being injured for the first half of my career. I spent probably the first 3 or 4 years of my career, with an off-season surgery almost every season, and it got to a point where I wanted to start to look at health and wellness more from a proactive standpoint than reactive. And that kind of prompted me to get online and really start to look at some solutions that were out there that would help me rehab, help me stay healthier. And it kind of led me down this path of finding a couple solutions. I would reach out to companies, just on the website, the contact forms. And some of the responses that I got was kind of the light bulb moment for me. Not necessarily getting responses from salespeople, but getting responses from decision makers and CEOs. It kind of was this light bulb where I realized that some of these folks saw something in what I could bring to the table, from the sports side. And that was really my entry point into sports tech, and I've been learning ever since.
And a lot of people see you as an evangelist in the area of sports technology, but they also see you as an evangelist in the area of venture capital.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey. Being able to start off as kind of a consultant, and then also being able to learn along the way, and eventually deploying money into the VC space and sports tech. It's been a heck of a journey, and I'm blessed and feel blessed that people are recognizing some of the work that I'm doing. But for me, it's just really about kind of living in the moment, having fun, enjoying what I'm doing, and continuously learning this industry.
You've said you've been able to learn a lot from some great advisors over the years. What are some big lessons that you've learned?
Yeah, really, and I'm still learning it every day, and I think a lot of us are. It's you got to manage your resources, whether it's time, whether it's financial, just the ability to manage your resources and always be in situations where you can where you can contribute. And you know, for me as an investor early on, I wanted to be hands-on with every single company, you know, boots on the ground. And you know, it took a while to realize that you can be hands-on, but it looks different in every you know, situation. So for me, part of the learning curve was, you know, being able to manage my time as kind of my biggest resource, and you know, getting involved in companies and getting involved with entrepreneurs that, one, you know, respect that, but two, can make the most use of it efficiently.
You said you started to think about the road ahead when you first got injured. What would you say to other athletes about starting to think about your future while you're still playing?
I mean, it was, for me, I had a couple great advisors that were former players, and I say it all the time. I got the chance to watch what the transition looks like real time. So one of my financial advisors was an 11-year NFL vet, and his last year in the league was my first year. And I got to watch him transition into financial services. It became one of my financial advisors. And you know, for me, that was pivotal in just understanding what it looked like to leave the game and walk into something else and you know, be successful at it. So for me, it kind of started my clock a little earlier. So about my fourth or fifth year, I really started to look at opportunities off the field and really start to build a portfolio of not necessarily businesses, but skill sets that I would be able to use, you know, and continue to learn. And you know, eventually that led to a portfolio of business opportunities and investments. And you know, for me, it was just about, you know, being able to maximize the platform while I had it, as opposed to, you know, waiting until, you know, the clock, you know, went to 000 in my career and then trying to restart from scratch.
And just a final question about performance. You know all about peak performance on the field. Are there parallels with finding high-performing technology or performance when it comes to a return on investment?
Yeah, one of the things that has really surprised me are the parallels with what I did for a living and really the life and the roles that I'm in now. A lot of it comes down to, you know, those intangible attributes that make you, you know, an elite player. You know, your ability to set a goal as opposed to a dream. You set a goal and you know, bust your butt to get to that and accomplish it, and you know, nothing can really stand in your way at that moment in time. And you know, just understanding that mentality and being able to identify that mentality, you know, in a lot of the entrepreneurs that I've been able to work with, you know, those are the companies that end up being successful. It's the entrepreneur that has this this kind of stubborn work ethic that I call it irrational confidence, and it's looking at the odds, it's looking at the numbers and saying that, you know, I'm gonna outwork, and I'm going to you know, put myself in the best possible situation to beat these odds and let everyone else, you know, fall by the wayside.